5 languorous rotations of the Julian calendar, the Oculus Rift and the vaunted VR future it promised has operated as the Godot of hardware revolutions. The earnest fan fucks have forbearingly fiddle-fucked around, secure in the delusion that if they just loudly exchange Oculus anecdotes with Vladimir and Estragon over there for long enough, they can somehow just will the nebulous fucker's popularity into existence. Many of us wizened old Epsom salt-swilling fuckbags from the 90s bridle at the thought of VR. After all, it wasn't so long ago we can actually remember virtual reality as a literal sideshow attraction, making the regular rounds at state fairs and shit. And with the frame rate of a flip book and graphics that made Reboot look like a postcard from the fucking future, when I hear VR described just as it was back then as the ultimate expression of gaming glory, I'm not the only one who's keen to the scent of their bullshit. But despite both Microsoft and Sony devoting valuable E3 stage time they could have spent lying about timed exclusives to the enterprise of jamming VR so far down my throat, even my shit is overrated. If you do the one thing the gaming press seems suspiciously reticent to do and actually crunch those sales numbers, you realize it's a case of same shit, different century. Unsurprisingly, finding said sales statistics is like signing up for flying lessons with Amelia Earhart. See, when the industry celebrates a seismic smash, be it the PS4, Switch, or Wii, you can spot the celebrations from Neptune, but when industry projections plummet off a fucking cliff, not with an electron microscope and a bloodhound could you hunt down those headlines, which will tend to happen when they don't actually fucking exist. Super Data Research projected in late 2015 that sales of Oculus, Sony VR, Vive, and all the where these shitheads can shovel would top 5.1 billion by year's end 2016. A piss-poor pronouncement IGN were anally primed to report, and did. Curious though, when by year's end the very same research firm would fall short of that figure by a factor of 5 fucking times the IGN headline to report this fact? M-I-fucking-A! They sure as shit reported Sony's marketeering bullshit last year when the big ass lived up to their abbreviation by reporting sales of Sony VR, which have scarcely moved from their 2 million position in late 2016, by the way, are, quote, on track. Yeah, hate to break it to you, but everything's on a track, you tit. That's the nature of finite existence. Where's the track lead? That's the question, you fucking liar. And if you'd like a second serving of coprophagia casserole, note that Super Data Research, the very same firm that projected combined VR sales would be 5 times higher than they actually wound up being, recently projected sales of Sony VR would top 2.6 million. Spoiler alert, they barely hit 1 million halfway through 2017, and no one in the gaming media called them on it. In fact, in doing my own personal legwork on the CEOs and VPs of so-called Super Data Research, particularly in assessing their social media accounts, which consists of wall-to-wall VR propaganda, it prevailed upon me that Super Data is less a research firm than an industry hype man. Yet IGN, Game Informer, Polygon, and yes, even Sony themselves all report this research as wrote, while virtually no one has reported that all their predictions have resoundingly fucking failed to materialize. I mean, is it just me or does something stink like a Tijuana porta potty in here? What's more, the sales slide comes in the face of fucking everyone, all but giving games away for anyone willing to strap a sunglasses case to their fucking forehead. I mean, at this point, it'd be easier telling the time Steam doesn't have their entire VR library on sale than when it actually does. And before anyone hurls the console peasant pejorative, I'm recording and editing this rant on a machine that is more than VR ready. It's VR turgid. It's just too bad I'm more flaccid than Lance Bass at a wet t-shirt contest. How people remain so unflaggingly excited about VR devices whose core technology's been altered more times than Oprah's capri pants is one of the immortal mysteries of the universe. In 2013, I cut a rant called Gimmicks in Gaming that made light of ham-fisted peripherals, but also predicted VR-hungry gamers were about to take 6 inches of Oculus shaft. Predictably, I caught more shit than a windsock and a turd typhoon. Well, I'm not gonna do the fuck you I was right dance, but I'm thinking it really loudly. I'm Razorfist. Fuck you, I was right!
Based on the poll, it looks like 50% of you guys prefer the PlayStation VR right now. Like, this is the thing I think in a month we're going to be hearing about, like, no one can get them in stores, everyone wants to get one for their kid for the holidays.
That's a shame.